Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking the fallout from Funky Dineva regarding, now he's confirmed his beef, which I told you guys a couple weeks ago, is with Claudia Jordan, throwing out his shots to Flame Monroe and Tasha K and whatever else, and also alleged that he walked away from a $250,000 a year job to go back to YouTube. You guys, we're going to get into all of it because there's a lot that I have to say. And, first thing I want to tell you guys, I told you so. Some of you did not believe me a couple of weeks ago when I told you in Funky Dineva's little nice buttoned up video that he did, trying to make it seem like it was all love, but then said there was no love lost, and then said that he's talked to some people but doesn't know what's going on, but named practically everybody there except for Claudia Jordan, that there was a problem. Now, Claudia publicly has been, cool about it, has been professional about it, although there were a couple of deleted lives where there were some, fun shade that was thrown. Like, we got to keep it a buck. We got to hold everybody accountable, right? And so, next thing we know, Funky Dineva, after telling us that he walked away from Foxhole because he said that they were lowballing him and didn't want to pay him the money that he felt that he was worth, and goes on Instagram in a deleted post and talks about his frustration with Foxhole for requesting a $127 microphone to be sent back to them, and which I said, as well as Claudia Jordan said, that it is company policy. It is normal for a company that you no longer work for, whether it is as a full-time employee, a PRN employee, as a consultant, as a contractor, temp person, whatever. If you own a laptop bag, microphone, or whatever, they're going to hit you up for that stuff to come back, because it'll get to a point where they'll just flat out charge you or take it out of your last paycheck. Like, we've got to keep it a buck for what it is. It wasn't personal. It wasn't messy. It wasn't malicious. At some point, and I think Claudia Jordan even did a live after that, saying that it wasn't necessary for Funky Dineva to post that on social media. Talked about how, they missed Funky Dineva on TGIF. They would love for him to come back. However, he cannot have, he can't be doing these antics on social media because that's not looking good to the bosses. And so she was I interpreted that as, Foxhole potentially was thinking of bringing Funky Dineva back, or might have, realized, hey, we could maybe negotiate something. However, I think all that is blown up in smoke now. So at some point, Funky Dineva gets wind that Flame Monroe is going to be co-hosting this week, right? And that is when we started seeing these clickbait posts on Instagram talking about how he was going to go on Instagram Live at 8 p.m., which is the same time TGIF goes on. And he said that he was going to tell the truth. He was going to spill the tea. I told you guys, even as a couple of weeks ago, the way Funky Dineva is going to spill his own tea is on his own time. He's going to drop little hints that there is an issue, and then you'll come back to the next video and he'll be like, oh, so-and-so, is always throwing shade. So-and-so is always talking, behind somebody's back and doing stuff behind the scenes. And some of you, because he didn't say a name, just ran with the wrong people. And I kept telling you the issue was with Claudia Jordan. And finally, in tonight's live, or last night's live rather, he said, her name. He said that his issue is with Claudia Jordan, but what he didn't say is what the issue is, right? And here's the thing, you guys. Funky Dineva obviously is going live every day this week on purpose to prove a point, to prove that he can get, as many live people in the chat, double or even 3 times the amount as Foxhole. But what some of you fail to realize is if Funky Dineva truly was making at least $250,000 on a 6-month salary, mind you, which is crazy, which is incredible to walk away from in itself, that there are other platforms that Fox Soul is airing on, because if we are just going off of the viewership and, you know, the ad revenue and everything else, specifically off of just the Fox Soul YouTube channel, there would be no way that Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, and Funky Dineva would all be making $250K a piece at the minimum. They have other platforms and other networks that they air on, you guys. I know you guys like to just look at just the YouTube numbers, but who is Fox Soul owned by, you guys? Who is Fox Soul owned by? Like, let's, you know, do our critical thinking skills. Right? So there's other platforms and other sources in which Fox Soul airs on. It is not solely available on YouTube, you guys. So that is one thing. Also, like I said, a part of me feels like this was a publicity stunt to an extent, in that Funky Dineva was hoping to bet on himself, Fox Soul, to realize, okay, the viewership is not the same without Funky Dineva. Things are, you know, significantly decreasing. We're losing too many viewers, you know, as the weeks go on and all of the things. We need to renegotiate and bring him back and talk to his people and get him back ASAP on the show. We now realize his value, his worth, and all of the things. But once Funky Dineva decided to play checkers instead of chess, and use these lives at the same time as TGIF was airing to basically throw shots at his former employer, throw shots basically in subliminals, and ultimately finally, you know, said what it was, that he had an issue with Claudia Jordan, and that she was a snake, and that she was all these things, and just, you know, being a passive aggressive with it, and that she was doing stuff behind the scenes that pissed him off. You know, I think all of that's out of the window now. I think all of that is blown up in smoke, because you could have gone live at the same time, strictly stuck to celebrity news and gossip, and, you know, completely kept it professional about Fox Soul, not throw any shade at the company or Claudia Jordan or anybody, or even subliminal shade, and just kept it about what you normally do. And I think that would have been a lot more impactful, because you would have let the numbers speak for yourself, instead of being on the platform throwing shade and throwing shots at people and all of the things. And even with that, I still think their underlying reason is you're upset that Flame Monroe is on guest hosting this week. So the thing is, you technically said that you would never have Flame Monroe as long as you were on TGIF. So technically, it's not a betrayal that Flame Monroe is guest hosting now that you are no longer on the show. I don't view that as a betrayal, because technically the word was kept not to have Flame Monroe on as long as you were there. So you're no longer there, and you know, Flame Monroe is. But I think Fox Soul now is calling your bluff, and is going to continue to bring on YouTubers and see who meshes the best with, you know, Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds. But now there's beef with Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds, who have now unfollowed each other. Claudia Jordan now went on live after TGIF, after Funky Dineva's live, looked visibly upset, looked like she had been crying or was about to cry, ended the live abruptly. Somebody asked about the unfollowing, and she said, you know, that basically if somebody makes her upset or whatever, or makes her cry, that's it. She's either going to block or unfollow them or whatever. So I think there's a mole. And I see that Al Reynolds and Funky Dineva still follow each other. And I see Funky Dineva has not mentioned anything negative as it pertains to Al Reynolds. I think somebody is feeding Funky Dineva intel about upcoming co-hosts, about what is going on at Fox Soul that has him pissed off, that has him feel like he's being betrayed, that has him feel like nobody advocated for him to make more money or to stay longer or what have you. And so now he is going scorched earth. But he didn't look at the bigger picture and had used this behind the scenes drama to create even more of an issue, because now we have the drama with not only with you know, completely outing now that you have an issue with Claudia Jordan, even though you didn't say what it was, and we know you have an issue with Flame Monroe, but you also now have an issue with Tasha K. And all of this is a big distraction, you guys. It's all a huge distraction, but it's causing all this controversy. And so ultimately, where are we going to be a few weeks from now? Or even next week if this dies down? Is Funky Dineva going to continue to go live 5 days a week regardless of who the guest host is on TGIF? Is that going to be a thing? Or is it only specifically because it is Flamin' Row this week? So that is something to keep in mind. Also, regardless of whoever is the guest host moving forward, is this something full-time Funky Dineva is going to do? He has said that he doesn't like to work. That he doesn't like to do, that many YouTube videos because it's work. YouTube is work, you guys. Whether you do pre-recorded videos, whether you do live streams, whatever, right? And if you're a person that conducts interviews too, that's additional work. You have to do editing. You have to do, replays, recaps. If you're going to have background music, if you're going to have, certain content included, certain videos and pictures and everything else, all of that stuff takes time. It's not just a willy-nilly, hey, I'll just get on and make a few bucks and I can just clear $250K like what I was making at Fox Soul. No. No. That's easy to say right now because you're pissed that you're no longer there. But you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work, and you're going to have to do more work now than what you did at Fox Soul. Because at Fox Soul, you could easily just be on a Zoom and, talk about celebrity news and gossip and get your check. Get your check every week or every 2 weeks or how often Fox Soul paid. Whereas with YouTube, you get paid once a month, right? And everything's distributed differently as far as like the super chats and super thanks and all that stuff goes. So it is all different, right? It is all different on the algorithms on what people are making. And celebrity news and gossip does not pay out an ad revenue the same as somebody who, has a niche for all money-making videos on YouTube, or somebody who has a niche for all like beauty and makeup stuff on YouTube, right? And it's even lower of a payout if you're doing reality TV because of, that's how it's distributed, right? There's a certain hierarchy on YouTube on what is going to make the most money. And the way to counter that is if you get the subs and the views, right? So if you're on the level of like a Tasha K or somebody who has 1 million subscribers, that's one thing, right? But it is not the same. It's going to depend on how many people are consistently viewing your content and participating in your content. That is going to make the difference, you guys. So there is that. So I don't know ultimately what the future is going to hold for TGIF. I noticed Al Reynolds is now promoting his YouTube channel and wants there to be 1,000 subs before he does videos now. And I know Claudia Jordan is revamping her, YouTube channel as well. I don't know what that means. But what I do know is that, you can't burn your bridges. You can't burn your bridges. You cannot be unprofessional because that's not going to bode well. And, similarly, like how Tasha K falls out with people, Funky Dineva also falls out with people. And not only falls out with them, but tells their business or teases to spill their tea after the fact, which isn't cool either. There is a reason Claudia Jordan has been able to consistently do radio shows and podcasts for multiple decades now. There's a reason she stays booked and busy, you guys. There's a reason she has another reality show that's coming out that's a variation of previously when she was on Deal or No Deal. There is a reason that Claudia Jordan, in addition to this, was guest hosting on Dish Nation and guest hosting on The Breakfast Club all this time. And also still does acting on the side in Tubi movies and whatever else. There is professional relationships that Claudia Jordan has in this industry that keeps her booked. No matter what. But if you keep burning your bridges at every place you go to that has a larger platform, that has, even more of an audience than YouTube, then you're selling yourself short. $250K for 6 months and 5 hours a week? Are you kidding me? Why walk away from that? Really? You could have used that as leverage to bet on yourself and took a shorter term contract, like a 3-month contract or what have you, or even heck, another 6-month contract to show, okay, during this grace period, during this time period, if the viewership and the participants in the chat are at this number, you should pay me X, Y, and Z. That's how you leverage and negotiate. But what you're failing to realize is that there were other factors that happened in which they weren't as willing to give you the money that you were requesting. And that was because there had been a few times where they had to sit you down and suspend you for comments that went too far about certain celebrities versus just giving an opinion. It went way too far in bashing black women and saying things that were way too far, that were beyond the scope of just giving a reaction, yay or nay, to a topic about a celebrity. So Fox Soul was looking at the bigger picture of everything that encompassed your time there, and when there was controversy, just like there's controversy now with Al Reynolds saying that Nia Long should have just stayed with the cheater because he makes a lot of money, and standing by it, and acting obtuse as if he didn't have a messy marriage and into his marriage with, Star Jones, that we're all supposed to have amnesia on what that was. So there is a lot of moving parts here. I don't think this is going to go away anytime soon. I think things are unfortunately just getting started. But as of now, Claudia Jordan at least publicly has said, I believe this was last week, that she had said that finally her and Funky Dineva had a conversation and said that they publicly were not going to diss each other. They publicly were not going to come for each other. They were going to keep things professional, and that seems to be out the window, at least on one side of things. But as of now, Claudia Jordan is taking the high road and isn't giving in to the bait that Funky Dineva is throwing out there. And even if there is a conversation in which Claudia Jordan was venting about something, it's irrelevant now because Claudia Jordan is the one who is still under contract with Fox Soul. Which is why I also said in my video it was inappropriate to say that Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds had a year contract compared to your 6-month contract. Right? But I think there's going to be a lot more stuff down the pike, and I don't think everybody is safe moving forward. I truly do not think everybody is safe, because they might have 2 replacements if they want to get rid of Al Reynolds too. And I think that's the source of whoever the mole is that's feeding stuff back to Funky Dineva, is they realize that as long as Funky Dineva was there, they could hide in the shadows and give minimal content. But now you have to be even messier too to try to prove your worth and to try to stay on the show. And now you're promoting your YouTube just in case things fall at the wayside, just in case you lose your job as well. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.